Hello. Okay, let's see. Is this working? Yeah, it's working. Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode by CDBTC. Today is Thursday, May 12th, 2022. And yes, it's been a crazy, crazy few days. The market has reacted violently, and we're going to discuss what is going on, what the perspectives are for the future, regarding alts. Is it a good time to buy alts or not? Because they're kind of on sale right now if you take a look at the alt charts. So is it time to buy or not? Okay, so first, let's look at Bitcoin. And basically, this is the main driver here. Okay, if you go to my Twitter account, I shared this graph a few weeks ago. And I said that we had to keep an eye out on these moving averages. If Bitcoin was able to sustain above these moving averages, we probably would be fine. But if we were to break below these moving averages, these are the 100 EMA and the 100 MA. If we broke below that, we would have a violent move downwards. And in the previous times in history when we've done that, Bitcoin has moved all the way down and tested the 200 weekly moving average. Let's take a look at that, at what I'm saying right now. Okay, so let's go back here to this is 2014. In 2014, once Bitcoin went below these moving averages, it was rejected, and boom, we came down and touched the 200 weekly MA. We kind of pierced through it. We had a wick, but we closed above it. Okay, then we just traveled above it. We couldn't break the uh, closer moving MAs until approximately November 9th, where we were able to recover above these moving averages, the yellow and the orange line. Then we went above the shorter time frame moving averages, and you can see that we had this wonderful, amazing bull market. Okay, when did it end? We lost the low time frame moving averages. We were rejected by them, and we came down to the 100 EMA. We bounced on it gently. Then we kind of hugged it, hugged it, hugged it. It was like Bitcoin and the whole market was trying to push up. And then what happened? We broke below it, and hello, hello, 200 moving weekly average. As you can see, we came down to it, we touched it, we bounced up, then we came and just rested upon it for a few weeks until Bitcoin was able to once again cross above the shorter time frames EMAs and above, in the next few weeks, above the 100 moving MA, which is the yellow line. Okay, once we did that, we had a nice little run again. Okay, until we got exhausted and we started our process again. This is what I was hoping that would happen in these weeks, is that Bitcoin held those moving averages. It fought here. It looked like it was starting to go above. And I honestly believe that this was the beginning of the bull market that we had. But what happened? We had COVID. We had that Black Swan event, which nobody was expecting. And oh, I'm gonna move this to another window. Let me see. I'm moving it over here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so no one was expecting COVID. The markets crashed, not only Bitcoin, and you can see that we went below this and boom, down to the 200 weekly moving average. Okay, we weren't that long below it. We basically recovered very quickly. In less than 2 or 3 weeks, we were above it, and then we started our ascent. And what happened? We went above the moving averages, the long-term moving averages, and when we recovered the short-term moving averages, that's when we began our historic bull run, where we went above our previous all-time high and we set a new record. Okay, now let's move forward to present time. Here, we lost the short time frames. This is May. This is when we had the huge first capitulation event. And you can see it was actually like a huge capitulation because this is the highest volume we've had. The volume we have had right now, this past few days, doesn't even compare to what we had here in May, okay? So this was actually a huge capitulation event. And you can compare it to the volume we had here in 2018. Look, this is very, very high. This is coronavirus, and this is the third highest volume ever. And this is actually very close. So I think that this was a important capitulation event. And during the next few weeks, we were coming down to test these moving averages. Remember, Bitcoin had gotten way, way ahead. A lot of people started to short here, and I guess that fueled Bitcoin so that it was able to go above the moving averages. And basically, this is the place where everybody was saying we're going for a new all-time high. We're going to $100,000. People started to open longs, and what happened? Boom. Because longs kind of fuel shorts, fuel the downtrends. It just takes someone to push the rock so that the rock goes down the cliff and starts gathering speed and bringing more rocks with it and starting an avalanche, okay? So we fell in for that trap twice. We did it here and we did it here, okay? We weren't able to recover from this downtrend, and the price came down. We were like just dropping in price for a lot of weeks, for many weeks. Let's see how many weeks that was. This is the price. So we were in this downtrend basically for 70 days, okay? 10 weeks, 70 days, where the price was just coming down. Where did we get a little bit of support? Here at the 100 moving average. You can see that we wicked down, but we never closed the candle below that price. And that was good. And we were kind of holding on. And I really had high expectations that we would be able to hold this and then continue upwards. But that's not what happened. We had this event in Europe. We had the war. We have the United States in trouble with high inflation. The Fed trying to cut back on rates, and all that had an economic impact. So here, when Bitcoin was trying to break out of here, again, what happened? A lot of people started to get very, very excited, and they started opening longs, and you know what that does, okay? It's very, very easy to manipulate, and we went down again. This wouldn't have been bad if we had been able to hold this moving average, but we didn't. And in my Twitter, I told you, if we closed below these moving averages, it was not going to be good. But it was not just the moving averages. We were also breaking below this key level of support. We had two levels of support. This is this line and this dotted line. Those were the two key levels of support for all of this structure that had been built for the past 4 months. And we broke through that. And once you break that, because of all the energy that had been being accumulated here in this range, the move is going to be violent. And that's what we got. Yesterday, we had a wick down to $25,500. This squigglies is something that I drew last week. This is what I thought was going to be happening. I thought we were going to be moving a little bit slower. We were going to be coming down and testing this $27,000 region. We're going to get a bounce up to $35,000, come back and retest it, and so forth, until we came down and touched this 200 moving MA. But Bitcoin might be a bit ahead of this time frame, okay? So guys, is this the final capitulation? I don't know, but there is a lot of volume right now in this move. There's a lot of volume, and still not at this level, but the week is not over, okay? It's still Thursday. We could still have more volume coming in. And remember, the weekends, the books aren't that packed, so they're kind of thin. So we could have something that could push down the price all the way to the $22,000 level, which is the 200 weekly moving MA. Okay, and you're gonna say, "But wow, that's violent. How can that happen?" And it's happened in the past. When we go and take a look at what happened in the end of the cycle after the 2017 cycle, the bear market actually ended in November 2018 with this move. This is when crypto Twitter started to say we're in a bear market, when actually all of this time was a bear market, and this was just the end. Okay, this is how it ended, and you can see that it ended in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Okay, so 5 weeks, 1 and 2. This kind of looks like what we're having today. We're probably gonna have this little range, and then boom, one touch. Okay, look at the similarities here, and yeah, history, everything doesn't have to play out the same, but there is an element here of psychology in crypto markets which is very, very strong. It's becoming weaker because of the institutional investors that are coming in, but it's still there. So look, 1, 2 candles. Maybe this was the bottom, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I think that we're gonna be bouncing in a range over here, and depending on what happens in the rest of the markets, we're either gonna have like the last flush down here, or maybe this is going to be the level that's gonna hold. But either way, I am DCAing, so yes, I'm buying a little bit of Bitcoin over here, but I'm saving some in case we come down here. Okay. Now, what about the alts? And I've always said this, the alts move at 2 or 3 times the speed of Bitcoin. So let's take a look. This 2 weeks, Bitcoin went down from edge to edge 36%. Okay, we're gonna take a look at how the alts did. Let's take a look at Solana. Okay, so let's take a look at Solana, and let's get out of the log chart. Okay, so Solana went down by 72%. So that's almost twice as much as Bitcoin. Okay, so let's go back to our Bitcoin chart, and let's say that we still have one more push down. So from the current price level down to here, we have 22%. Okay, 22%. So best case scenario is that Solana goes down 22%. Okay, so let's see where 22% takes us. It takes us here down to $33. But by using a rule that's probably going to be twice as much, if we go twice as much, it takes us almost to 40%. And look, this is a very interesting level. This is around $28. This is an area where Solana got a lot of support in the past. You can see that it traded in this area for many, many weeks. If we look at the VPVR, let's see what we find. Okay, so the most volume traded in Solana was done at the $7 range, which was very early in its existence. Let's get rid of that range. And what do we have? The next most traded range is basically here in this area. So between these two lines. So you can start DCAing into Solana here, but just be aware that we could drop a little bit further down into $28, $29. Okay. We also have this falling wedge, which currently we're visiting the bottom of it. So this is actually not a very bad place to get a little bit of Solana. Okay, because what's probably going to happen if Bitcoin behaves is probably Solana is going to move like this, go up to here, and then retest. And that's going to be like one test. Then we're going to have the second test. It's probably going to try to break out here, have one last test, get 3, and then break out. And that's the key. That's when we know that we can go. And Solana is going to have like a little solid base here. Or worst case, we can come like, boom, Bitcoin misbehaves and we come down here to $28. And you have some spare change left to put into Solana. I think that this is one of the plays that we have to consider going into the next cycle. Okay, I think this is one of the blockchains that is going to survive. Another token that I'm looking at, and I think that it's interesting and should be in your portfolio, is Link. Link is it's the biggest oracle out there, and right now it's trading well below its all-time high. So right now, currently, it's at 87% below its all-time high. It's basically at the base. As you can see, Link top tier, and after it broke through this level, this is where it started to gain speed. So I think that this is going to be a very important level. It's basically at 480 something. So $5 would be a great price to get Link at. It's the biggest oracle. It's basically the oracle. And look at the VPBR. This is where the most volume was traded at this level. So this is going to offer very strong support. So if you're able to buy some Link here, you're gonna be positioning your portfolio for the next run very well. How far is the drop from here down to this level? It's 26%. So if you buy right now, just consider that there's a risk of Link going down by 25% more. Okay, so you could buy a little bit here and then have some spare change to buy in a little bit later. Okay, let's see if we can find another trend line here. Yeah, the next one is like down here. Doesn't make any sense, so we're gonna use this one. Remember, this is the most volume support that Link has. I'm confusing it with Solana. Another token that I think is interesting is Matic. Unfortunately, I do not feel comfortable buying Matic here. Matic, based on the VPR, the most volume here was traded at 10 cents or below. Okay, so if you bought Matic at 10 cents or below, let's go from here, you're still 39 times up, and I think that means that there's still some downside to come. Once the people start to get nervous, we could probably go down to 20 cents. Okay, that would be like a 60% drop from here. Best case scenario would be a 32% drop from here. But yeah, I think that Matic still has some more down price risk versus the other ones, but I do like it. Another one that I think has a nice future is AAVE. So let's look at AAVE. Oof, this has been very bloody the past few weeks. And this is what I say, crypto Twitter is just saying that we're starting a bear market right now. We're not starting the bear market right now. The bear market has been going on since November. We've been in a bear market since November. So basically, AAVE is almost bottomed out versus all the growth it had in 2021. Let's look at the VPVR, and we can see that basically this is the level where most of the AAVE was traded. Then the lowest level is $4. I don't think we're gonna go down to that level. Worst case scenario is we're gonna come down here to between maybe $17 and $15. So that's still 50% down from where we are. But as you can see, we are touching this trend line. So this would also be like a nice place to pick up a little. But I think that what's going to be difficult for you guys right now is that we're probably going to have some bounces on some tokens. You're going to say like, I missed the train, but then it might do this. And basically you're going to have another entry. I don't think if this is going to hold, we're not just going to touch it once. I think that we're going to touch it at least 2 times more. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 touches before we leave the channel. And you're starting to see that there's kind of like a pattern in all of these. Another one that I think that is very important in a portfolio, if you can get it, is Binance. Binance is growing incredibly. I had my doubts in the past if Binance was going to be able to pull it off, if they're going to be able to comply with regulations and everything, but they're doing a very good job. Okay, The thing is that when Binance chain came, it gave a huge boost to Binance, to the Binance token, and we just like shot up from here from $44 all the way up to $687. This was very, very quick. And basically, we've been trading up the way up here. You can see we were in this kind of structure. We broke down from it this week, and I expect I don't think this is going to like stay here. If we get a bounce, we're going to be rejected here and retested at least, okay? But there's a high probability that it's going to continue to come down further, okay? So Solana is going to be, Solana, BNB Binance Chain Coin is going to be a very interesting buy around $175 to $150. There's still, this is starting to sell off. See, there's the volume starting to come in, but it hasn't been a huge sell-off. So if things get a little rough, I expect the sell-off to actual sell-off to come in, okay? So Binance, keep an eye on it for your portfolio. And another exchange that I think is growing a lot and has a lot of things in favor is KuCoin. And this one is also overextended. I would like to see it come down a little bit further. I don't know if we're going to get $5, but this would be the area that I would be looking at least as value, okay? I wouldn't be buying here, up here, all the way up here still. Okay, let's look at the VPBR. This is probably going to be weird because look at this. Look at this weird volume here. So yeah, most of the volume was done down there. If we get rid of that, let's see what happens. Yeah, around, see, like the $4 and $5 area. So I think that this is where I would be interested in buying KCS. Okay, what else do I have here? Atom, where are you, Atom? Okay, here you go. This is Atom. Look, basically we've been just going through all the layers here, and I don't know, look at this bear market. Oh, the bear market just started. No, this is almost over. It's almost over, almost 80%. Okay, so these are the layers, and basically Atom or Cosmos is at this level of interest. This is where I'm interested in buying. There has been more volume than the other tokens. Worst case scenario, I think that we can go down to $7, maybe even $5, get a wick down to $5. From this price point, it means about 20% drop. So as you can see, the different tokens have different levels of risk to the downside. But you have to manage that, okay? You have to be able to manage that. Whatever, the key thing is don't FOMO in, analyze what you're going to buy. Don't buy crap right now. Don't buy meme coins. There's going to be time for that. But right now, focus on getting the hard stuff like Bitcoin. You can also get some Ethereum and some of these tokens I'm mentioning like Solana and Matic and Cosmos. And I bet there's other strong ones out there. They're maybe not on my focus or not on my radar. But take a look at those and focus your money in those for the time being. There's going to be a time where we're going to have opportunities to look into small projects and throw a couple of dollars in those and see what happens, okay? I was happy to have been able to get a few 50 and 100x's this cycle, and I'm sure that I'm going to be able to do the same thing in the next cycle and then share some of those with you guys, okay? Okay, so let me see what else do we have here that I wanted to share. Oh yeah, look at Tron. Keep it in your loop. Look at this. Tron is onto something. Look at this. Look at this chart. It's Tron has been building upon this trend line that comes all the way from March 16, 2020. So basically from COVID, As you can see, we've been marching up on that. On top of that, of course, we got overextended like all the other tokens did. But look at this. We're still following this. And we have this upper trend line. And we're in this triangle formation. So if Tron is able to break out of here, it's going to have a very, very nice run. Likewise, if it breaks down to the downside, it's lights out, okay? Probably Tron's gonna come down to 3 cents or even a little bit lower, 3 or 2 cents. So just keep an eye out for this structure, and once it starts to break, then that's the direction that Tron is going to be moving forward in the next few weeks. So this is one of the clearest plays out there, okay? Breaks down, we short, breaks out, we long, okay? So key gameplay here. Well, let's see what was the... Yeah, so is it time to buy? Look, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you something. And this is from my learning in the 2017 cycle. Okay, look. Let's go back to 2017. Let's go back here. This is the first drop we had. Approximately in this area is when Bitconnect failed. And Bitconnect was a platform that promised steady returns. It promised 1% average daily, so 30% per month. A lot of people got in it. It lasted for about 14 months. But once I understood how it worked, I knew that the moment the market turned, people were gonna get scared and people would start pulling out their money. New money would not be flowing in. There would be no price support for the token and for the cash out that had to be done in the platform, and that it was going to fail. So when Bitcoin corrected, it also corrected the price of those tokens, and it affected the mechanism. And that's when this thing stopped. The music stopped playing and everybody got busted. If you go back in history and look at the price of Bitconnect, it would just went down, and I never thought that I would see anything like it again in my life, because Bitconnect was in the top 10 of coins, and that's why a lot of people got in it, because they saw like it's in the top 10. It's a project that is in the top 10. How can it be a scam? They wouldn't let a scam go into the top 10, but it did, and that bursted the bubble for retail. Retail got really scared. They got screwed over. They didn't have more money to invest. They started to tell their friends and family, don't buy into crypto. It's dangerous. You're going to lose everything. And of course, money dried up and we had bear market, okay? Until we had the final capitulation. The thing is, after this drop, people were euphoric and they said like, oh no, let's buy more tokens. But then we had this drop. And then this was terrible. This day was terrible. I remember it was like super dark. People were talking about suicide and stuff like that. Then the market started to turn and everything was like, yeah, we're back on. And there was so much excitement. And people thought that the odds that they had bought were a great opportunity, okay? This is February. Let's look at this. This is March 26th, and this is February 5. So we're gonna go see what I was doing during that time in my channel, okay? But people said, no, the alts can't go down anymore. But look, Bitcoin went down more, and the alts did that as well. Let's look at the alts. Look, this is the total market cap of... Oh, it doesn't go that far in history. That's not good. That sucks. Well, let's do it with the one that includes Ethereum. Okay, so look at this. So this is the day that I'm telling you was terrible. And then we had a huge bounce, and everyone was like, yeah, we're back on. And then, wow, no, alts can't go any lower. And look at this. They did. When the final capitulation came, they did go a lot lower. So it can happen. Let's go to my YouTube channel. Let's go to my YouTube channel and let's see what what my videos were during those days. Okay, let's take a look. So look at this. Oh, here, look at this. Okay, further Bitcoin correction, $300 lower. Oh, imagine $300 lower. And I have crypto fire sale. What date is this? Let's take a look.
Hello and welcome to another.
This is March 18th. March 18th. Okay, so see, I thought this was a fire sale, and there was still more downside to come. Of course, yeah, we had this, but then a few months later, the alts still did a 66% lower move. Okay, so there's still a possibility that alts are going to correct a little bit more, and the feeling I get is that people are thinking that this is the fire sale, like I thought it was in March 2018. Look at this.
Another episode by CDBTC.
20% down for Ethereum,
March
14% Ripple was up here. Bitcoin Cash. Let's see what I'm looking at.
So,
what am I talking about here? Oh, we're gonna get a commercial. Okay, so let's not go there. Oh yeah, look at this. Look. Do you know these tokens? This is the like 54, 22, 93. Look, Neo was in the 7th place. This is like one day, 23, 22, negative movements. A lot of these coins don't even exist. They're basically dead. And that's also going to happen to a lot of the tokens in this cycle. And that's why I'm urging you to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, AAVE, Matic, like really strong projects that will probably survive into the next cycle, because there's a lot of other tokens, a lot of junk, a lot of trash that's not going to make it. And I hope that you're not invested in some of those things, okay? So the message here is, yes, there was a strong correction these past few weeks. And is there space for further downside? Yes, there still is space for a little bit more downside, okay? And if Bitcoin comes down here to these levels, you know that the alts are going to suffer a little bit more once again, okay? Let's go back to the other chart. Okay, here we are. Keep that in perspective, okay? Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, wait, before I go, yes, let me share something else with you. Let me see, is this it? No, it's on the 3-week. It's on the 3-week. Here we go. Look, this is something that I was watching, and this is what gave me also the heads up. Since 2019, this was our bottoming in the RSI. Then we got the COVID crash, and then we got our January crash. We came down to this RSI support line. We bounced on it, we bounced again, and then we broke it. And this told me that we were probably gonna break here at the price level, okay? So yeah, this is very important, and this is one of the things that I'm also going to be watching, because I expect the RSI to basically bottom out in this area. So I still think there's a little bit of downside to come. Okay, well guys, that's it. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everybody have a great day. Bye bye.